your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Boy, it has been a windy day today and a day full of field fires as a result of dry conditions out there and these strong winds. A red flag warning still in effect here until 7 o'clock officially. And that red flag warning is, out there because of just how these conditions are currently set up. Essentially, you've got winds that are still gusting, near 30 miles an hour like they are in Champaign and Springfield at 31. You're going to just those flames can really get out of control if anything sparks and whatnot. And that's what happened today in several areas. And there are still several fires going on across the area. Now, we've had nice weather where we've not had that going on, but lots of sunshine and temperatures into the 80s. This feels great, but we're about to flip the switch. Fall-like weather is here to stick around, it looks like, as temperatures cool off tonight. More about the fires and how long these strong winds last when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
A bicyclist who was hit by a semi-truck has died. What family and friends want people to remember about the man who spent his life caring for others. Many fire departments are hustling today. Several fields going up in flames. Why they are calling this a red flag warning day.
And it was his dream to build this park. How it will become reality after his death.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
His demeanor was always one of giving and nurturing.
But that generous spirit is now gone. An Urbana doctor has lost his life after a hit-and-run crash. A semi-truck driver hit Bill Shue while he was riding on his bicycle on Sunday. He died last night. Good evening. I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. He was riding with his wife and daughter. The crash happened on Route 150 by Spring Lake Road. Police are still looking for the truck driver. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting is live in our newsroom. Courtney, Shue had an impact on so many lives.
That's right, Jennifer, he did. I've been in touch with friends and coworkers all day, and they've all talked about what a great person he was, especially those who worked with him. She was the chief medical officer at Carl. He was also an associate professor at the College of Medicine. The 58-year-old had been with Carl for 24 years. Most people you talk to describe him as selfless, so much so that he was an organ donor. Shue's son says that's something they want people to remember about him. I talked to a nurse manager at Carl who says it's not easy to talk about, but organ donation is a great way to leave behind a legacy.
It's the gift of hope for others who are on a transplant list who don't have hope, and it's the ultimate sacrifice that you can give when it seems like there's nothing left to give.
She encourages people to have that conversation with their family members early and adds that it can be healing for them to see their loved ones living on. Carl officials say they extend their condolences to his family and gratitude for his service. Shue leaves behind 3 children and his wife. His wife wasn't hurt in the crash, but his daughter had some bruises and scrapes, but she's doing okay now. Live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
And again, police still looking for the driver of that truck. All right, thank you. We have an update on the murder of a toddler last year. A man has been sentenced in her death. Anthony Myers was given 30 years for the death of 2-year-old Tanaja Barnes. She was found in her Decatur home, wrapped in a urine-soaked blanket, a body temperature so low it didn't register on a thermometer. Myers was the live-in boyfriend of Barnes' mother, Twanica Davis. She is serving 20 years.
A man from Rantoul is facing several charges after police say he broke into a U of I lab and caused thousands of dollars in damage. 21-year-old Chris Henson of Rantoul is charged with burglary, obstruction of justice, and trespassing. Police were called to the Roger Adams Laboratory on South Matthews after 8 Monday morning. They found Henson sleeping in an office. They say he'd also broken into several rooms and damaged lab equipment, computers, and office furniture. There was at least $8,500 in damage. Champaign police are looking for a man who robbed a CVS. Authorities say he had a gun when he went inside at Green and Neal last night around 9 and demanded money from an employee. He took off on a bike. He's about 6 feet tall and in his 30s. If you have any information, you're asked to call police.
Firefighters were called out all over the place as fields caught on fire across central Illinois today. The weather just making it harder for them to do their jobs. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen live in Champaign County. Now, you are at Route 10 between Rising and Staley Roads. Jennifer, at 5, the wind was whipping. We saw your hair all over the place. Is it still as strong out there?
Jennifer, yes, those winds are still very strong. You can still see that behind me here. And what we're looking at here, the Corn Belt Fire Chief told me that those strong winds and dry conditions posed a very difficult challenge for these firefighters today as they tried to tackle this fire. The wind carried those flames and rapidly pushed the fire further through the field as they tried to take down those flames. Several fire departments were out here today. Take a look at this video from our Sky 3 drone. It took about 30 minutes to put the flames out, but not before the fire burned through more than an acre of unharvested crops here. And neighbors who live right across the street from this field tell me that the smoke was so thick they could hardly see past the road in front of their house. The fire departments are tonight asking people not to burn anything like leaves or debris on their property to prevent even more fires from starting and spreading in these windy and dry conditions. Now, fire crews remain on alert tonight as they say they would not be surprised if more field fires sparked up later. So we will continue to monitor that throughout the night. Live in Champaign County, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. Crews are working to learn why a mobile home caught fire in Urbana. It happened near the corner of Crystal Lake Drive and Cunningham Avenue. The Urbana fire chief says it started in the kitchen, but they are still working to find out why. The fire chief says the home was destroyed and the family likely lost everything. The people and pets inside made it out okay.
A new Target 3 investigation uncovered alarming evidence of an active methane leak in Livingston County. Nicor Gas keeps 60 billion cubic feet of natural gas in a massive underground storage facility in Ancona. Farm families living on the land above it have filed complaints about the gas bubbling up in their wells and creeks. A former state inspector says he pressed Nicor to explain how much of that gas is making its way out of those underground storage formations.
By their own admission, they don't know how much they're actually losing. They're capturing 500 million cubic feet. They're not capturing everything, you know, or it wouldn't be bubbling up in water wells. It wouldn't be bubbling up in creeks. It wouldn't be bubbling up in road ditches. That's the problem. You wouldn't have the crop circles out there.
Nicor does compensate farmers for the crop death, but one family filed a lawsuit to try and shut the field down. Tonight at 6:30, our Target 3 team investigates the clear and present danger in Livingston County.
The hype is high for this year's Illini Hoops team-wide. Today, the excitement has even grown stronger.
Also tonight.
So we had a lot of people that helped us.
Days after being sworn into office, he died. How this councilman's dream is finally coming true.
We're going to talk about all of the conditions that led up today's fires, what kind of probably sparked some of them, and the conditions, and how long they're going to be sticking around. This red flag warning when we come back.